Picture this, a recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion on the 27th of February, 2020, episode 385. I'm looking at Rainbow Islands on the Sega Master System today, and, well, let's get stuck straight in. Well, here we are, and you can see almost immediately that the screen, characters and everything else, well, the screen size is really big. The characters are really quite small, but that works, strangely. Now, let's look at it from the start, shall we? Level design isn't that bad, actually. Pretty faithful to the arcade original, and also, as you probably know, I think I've already done the ZX Spectrum version of this game, which should come as no surprise because that was the console. Console? Oh, slap my wrists and call me Hubbard. Anyway, yes, it's not a console, computer. Yes, the first home computer console. I've got this thing to say console. Stop it. The ZX Spectrum home computer version was the one that I grew up with, and that was very, very good, actually, especially the 128K version, because it actually had the music. Now, you'll probably notice, if you've played this game before on the Master System, you will probably already know the music was changed to avoid copyright. Well, what was the original theme tune? Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which the ZX Spectrum had. I think, I do believe it was only the Master System and possibly future versions of this that had to be changed to avoid copyright. But there we are. I've gone into Sound and Music before I've actually finished the graphic presentation. Now, as you can see, when there's a lot on the screen, it does tend to lag a little bit and go a little bit slow. But I do believe that's down to technical restrictions more than anything else. Now, the one thing I do find very interesting here is the fact that when you collect more than one rainbow pot, yes, you can have the two rainbows, but unlike the ZX Spectrum version, which incredibly was like the arcade, you can only have two rainbows at a time. Now, the Spectrum, you could have three rainbows at a time. Now, I haven't played any of the other versions yet, but I do believe the NES version is very faithful to the arcade, so I'm quite looking forward to that. All power-ups do seem to be there. Now, as always with Master System games, I do find the colours to be a little bit wishy-washy. I don't know why, but the Master System always seemed to have these graphics that were just a little bit washed out, or colours I should say, not graphics. The colours were washed out, and I don't know, it just didn't seem to add much to it, which was a bit of a shame. But, you know what? The game's playable. Now, one glaring omission is the two-player mode, which, okay, admittedly was turn-based, but it's not here. Not that I can see, anyway. But, you know, it's pretty damn good, actually. I'm actually quite surprised. I wasn't expecting much coming into this game today. But you know what? I'm actually fairly impressed. It certainly seems a lot of fun, anyway. I would be happy to play this. I mean, to be fair, if you were a Sega Master System owner back in the day, and this was your version that you had of Rainbow Islands, I don't think you'd be disappointed. I think you'd actually really lap this up. I think it's actually very good conversion. It was handled by Taito and Sega, so you would expect it to be anyway. You can see as well with the graphics that the rainbows tend to flash as well. If there's a lot going on the screen, the rainbow graphic tends to glitch a little bit, but that's not too bad. The other thing about it is that it does this weird sort of screen shift at the end of a level. Or when you're going into the next phase of a level, you get this strange sort of screen bump that goes on, instead of smoothly taking you all the way up to the top of the screen. But you know what? That's such minor niggles, considering the game is so much fun to play. One of my favourite games, actually, in general, is Rainbow Islands. The Bubble Bobble series was actually very good. This was actually sort of subtitled The Story of Bubble Bobble 2. But it didn't really have much in common with Bubble Bobble, apart from the main characters were present and correct. So there we are. Some sound and music, let's move on to that, because the sound's actually really quite jolly. Nice little plinkety-plonks and zing-zang-ziggits for all of the bits and pieces that you can do. And, yeah, it's really quite good. The music's good. It's not. I actually prefer the Somewhere Over the Rainbow theme, but obviously to avoid copyright, they had to remove that, as I stated earlier. But you know what? That's a small thing. They've kind of incorporated the Somewhere Over Rainbow in the chorus line. They've done it quite cleverly. It's not massively obvious, which I kind of like. So they've kept it as much as they can. Now, there's a downside to this game, and it's a very, very simple one. The fact is, there's a bug in it. This was rectified on the Mexican or the Brazilian version of this game. So if you're going to go for a complete arcade experience, you probably want to get one of those versions, because the bug that's in it basically will crash the game after level 7. Well, it won't crash the game. It will basically take you back to the start menu, so it's uncompletable. Now, if you put in a cheat mode to get past level 7, the same bug is there for level 8, and so on and so forth. So there's actually no way you can see the ending to this game on the Master System or the UK, European, or otherwise versions of the game, which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. So, in general, that's going to knock the score down just a tiny, tiny bit. In general, that's the only fault I can find so far. Controls are fairly nice as well. You've got your rainbow attack on the one button and you've got jump on the other, which always beats an up for jump, because you know how much that sucks. So there you are. They've done a very good job indeed, and it's probably as arcade perfect as you're going to get. It's just, but what a great little conversion. I mean, the one thing about games is they should be fun. There's no way a game should make you feel like you want to switch it off after 2 minutes. This game would keep you going for a long time, even with the bug, but there are ways round that. In fact, I believe there's a cheat combination that you can use to skip past this level, but again, you're going to have to do it for every level that you want to play, because I believe the bug is present after level 7. If you put in a code for level 8, it's still there. Level 9, still there, etc. So very difficult to actually get to the end of this game. Hence, try and get the version that doesn't have the crash in it, and you'll be able to complete it as it was meant to be. So, playability, it's massively playable, and actually, what a game, and you will enjoy it as well. If you're a platform game fan, this is right up your alley, and if you're a Bubble Bobble fan, it's a double bonus. So there we are. Definitely worth a go. Even if you're not an arcade fan, or a platformer fan, or Bubble Bobble fan, give it a go anyway. You might find you enjoy it. Now you'll see that I get better rewards for trapping the guys under the rainbows and then smashing them. Now that's pretty faithful to the arcade as well. You get better rewards for doing it that way. You also get the demolition stars. Oops, just jumped straight into him. That was not planned, ladies and gentlemen. But actually, that's probably one of the best runs I've ever had. Anyway, moving on to age range, well, pretty much any. It's designed for youngsters, so there we are. And at the end of the day, it's tricky enough in the later levels to be advertised as an all-rounder for age groups. So even if you're an adult, you know what, even for the nostalgia value, it's worth a play. So there you go. Definitely worth a pick up on cartridge if you can find it anywhere. Probably eBay would be your best bet. Probably get it at a fairly decent price as well, because it's not overly rare. So don't pay over the odds for it. I'm not very well here now, am I? Here we go. My old gameplay is coming back into fashion. So there we go. It's a platforming game. So, but it's sadly only the one-player version. Although the two-player version was turn-based in the arcade and on the home systems, but it's just nice to have that. I suppose, as always, you could turn it into a two-player jaunt by passing the controller over after you die. So you can or you could do it level by level. So you take control of one level, then your friend takes control of a level, and then you swap controllers if you happen to jump into something like I just did. So there you are. It should be a two-player game. It's not on this console, unfortunately, but like I say, you can fix it for yourselves if you want to. You can have a score challenge, but you can't see the score, which is lovely. Which is something that actually is missing. There should be a score panel in the top left. Also doesn't tell you how many lives you've got either. So that's a bit of a strange omission, but there you go. Not that you keep your eye on it anyway. Now the other thing missing is when you get the diamonds, it spells out, but you can see it at the end there on the left-hand panel. It does say rainbow, but it counts the gems that I've got so far. But all in all, the game is fairly consistent, and it's fairly faithful to the original material. So if you are a fan of this series, I suggest you have a go. If you've never played Rainbow Islands, give it a go anyway. Like I said, the colours are a little bit washed out, but you get the idea. Rainbows are really thin as well, but hey, I'm nitpicking. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review. I shall be back soon with a brand new one. If you've got any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye!